Hey guys, it's Jolie from Table for Two, and today in partnership with Farmer Focus, a company that works with local poultry farmers to produce USDA organic, non-GMO, certified humane chicken, we are giving you a giant fall hug. And by giant fall hug, I mean this apple cider chicken skillet dish. It is so good, it is so easy to put together, and basically your entire house and kitchen is gonna smell like fall. So let's go ahead and see what ingredients we need to make this apple cider chicken skillet. A great thing about this apple cider chicken skillet is the short ingredient list. So you're going to need an apple, an onion, apple cider, chicken stock, flour, poultry seasoning, the best fall herbs in my opinion, thyme, rosemary, and sage. And of course, the star of the show, Farmer Focus, boneless, skinless, thinly sliced chicken breast. And I love their packaging because it comes in a tray, so you can, not in this recipe, but in other recipes that I've made for Farmer Focus, you can actually marinate your chicken right in the tray, but also on every single Farmer Focus chicken package, there is this 4-digit farm ID that you can go to svorganic.com, enter it in, and find exactly the farm that your chicken was raised and the family behind it. So that's really, really cool, and I hope you give that a try. So that's it. That's really all the ingredients that you need besides butter and olive oil, which we'll throw that in the skillet after we prep all the other ingredients. Okay, so let's prep our ingredients. So I'm gonna set the chicken aside. We'll flour that in a bit after we chop the ingredients. So I got an onion. I'm gonna probably only use half of it because it's only thinly sliced, so it won't require the entire onion. So I'll just chop this in half and then set aside the other half and then peel it. Got my little trash bowl over here, so it makes it super convenient. And so we'll thinly slice the onion. I'm gonna start crying soon. Get right down to the core. Okay, so that's the onion thinly sliced into like half moon shapes, and then we'll chop the apple. So this is what I usually just do with apples. I just go around the core. Ooh, there goes a flying apple. And you can keep the skin on. I like it for the color, but if you don't want to, you can obviously peel it. But for this recipe, I'm gonna keep it on. So just cut them like this. They're like, I don't know, half moons-ish. So chop. And when these stew down, they just get so much good flavor. Oh my gosh, my eyes are tearing up. Should have cut the onion last. You're gonna see me like cry now. Okay, so let's prep the herbs just so we have them ready. So the thyme is actually really easy to do. All you gotta do is just grab the stem and then pull down, and all the leaves will just come with it. So I like a lot of thyme. So I love fresh thyme. I'm not a super huge fan of dry thyme. I think it's way too strong, but there's something about fresh thyme that can't be beat. So let's just get all the goodness off the leaves. Ooh, it's okay if you have some stems, but you don't want a lot. And we're gonna throw some fresh thyme, like the whole thyme stem, in to the dish as well for some flavor. Rosemary, same thing, grab it by the top and then just pull down and all the leaves will come down with it, leaving just the stem. You don't need a lot of rosemary because it can be overpowering, so let's not do that. And then sage, what I like doing is just plucking the leaves off the stem. Oops. And then since this is a pretty powerful spice as well, you don't want to use a lot. So this is about like 3, and I just roll it up like this, and then I just slice it. Ooh. Okay, and then you can just go ahead and, I guess, roughly chop the herbs, just so you can see it throughout the dish. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. This is like fall right here. I just love the smell of these fall herbs. Okay, so we got that ready. I'm gonna move this over to the stove so we're ready for that. And then clears my workspace to flour the chicken. So in a shallow tray, I have half a cup of flour, and I'm going to add some salt to it, and then poultry seasoning flavor. And because Farmer Focused chicken has such clean flavor, it'll really be pronounced and great in this dish. So I'm doing 1 tablespoon of poultry seasoning, and then just mix it up with your spoon. Doesn't have to be perfect. Ooh. Oh, this makes me sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, so measure out our apple cider just so we get that ready. So just shake it up a little. So I'm doing 3/4 of a cup. I might be getting the measurements wrong, so sorry if I am. You can go to tablefor2blog.com for the full recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's 3/4 of a cup, and then 1/4 of a cup of chicken broth. There we go. So that gives you a full cup of liquids, which we will reduce down. It'll be like a gravy, and it just coats the chicken so nicely. Oh, love it. Okay, so let's put this over here. So we have that ready. And then now we will flour our chicken. So super easy packaging. Just like that. Pull the tag off, and you can save this part so you can, type in the farm ID at sborganic.com. And this easy open tray, I love it. It's so easy. Just like that. And I have another shallow tray right here to put my floured chicken in. So what you're going to do is use one hand for dipping, and then the other clean, so you can like coat it, so you don't have like both hands dirty and like become flour hands. So just grab the thinly sliced chicken breasts like this. This is so perfect. It's already cut for you, and everything cuts down on prep time. So just gently coat it, and then shake off the excess, and then put it over here. And then repeat until all the chicken is coated. Now we are done flouring our chicken, so we'll head to the stove and begin cooking. All right, so we are ready to put this dish together. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter in the skillet, and now I'm turning the heat on to a medium-high heat and adding a little bit of oil, so to help it from sticking and burning. I'll let that melt. Get our tongs ready, help this along. It is about to smell amazing in here. Especially once you start cooking the onions. Especially when you start cooking the onions and apples and herbs with butter. Oh my gosh, Is there anything better? So what we're doing first is we're going to brown the chicken. You're not going to cook it all the way. You just want a nice brown exterior. And then we'll pull it away from the skillet and heat and just let it rest on a plate. And then we'll add more butter and oil to the dish or the skillet and cook the rest of the ingredients. And then put the chicken back in, and they all have a nice giant party with their flavors. Okay. This is almost all completely melted and it's bubbling, so that means it's hot. And that's what you want because you want to brown the chicken. So I've got my chicken right here that we floured earlier. And I'll wait for this to just get a little bit more hot. Then go right ahead and put this in. I think all of this will actually fit, hopefully. If not, we'll make room. You can hear it sizzling. Oh yeah. Oh, the butter is like browning too, so it gives it that nutty flavor. Oh, I'm telling you, this dish is amazing. And I love the Farmer Focus thinly sliced chicken breast because it already takes the work out for you. Because you know, sometimes you get like giant chicken breasts and you're supposed to slice it in half, but it's like you kind of are guessing what half is. And then when you slice it in half, you have like one that's bigger, one side that's bigger, and then the other side that is like super thin. Well, these take the guesswork out. It's already done for you, so it cuts down on prep time. Great. We'll just let that go. It's like chilling and frying in the butter. Well, not really frying, but you know, browning. Okay, you can go ahead and flip. And you can see the poultry seasoning throughout the chicken. Perfect. Okay, so you don't want to cook this all the way through, so we'll just like lightly brown the other side and then just completely take it out of the skillet. Because if you cook it all the way through and then you're going to let this simmer with the sauce later, it's just going to overcook it, it's going to be tough, and you don't want that at all. That's about ready to come out. So let me turn the heat down a little so the butter and oil don't burn as I'm getting this out. Oh, it smells so good. So that will just rest while we cook the other ingredients. Okay, so more butter. Always good. Oh, here's some chicken. Okay, so we'll turn back the heat, turn back up the heat. Okay, so while that's going, we're gonna add in our onions. And then the fresh herbs. Oh, this is gonna smell so good. Poppin's okay. Okay, so let's toss that real quick. And then grab my salt, good seasoning on that, and then, oh, So good. Get all the good brown bits up. That is where all the flavor is. Oh my goodness. I wish you could smell this right now. Like I am smelling the butter, the sage, the rosemary, the thyme. Oh my goodness, this is the ultimate fall dish. You have to make this. Okay, so then I'm going to throw in the apples. And let that have some fun in there with the onions. So you don't have to cook the apples all the way through so that they're like mushy. You still want a little bit of bite to them. We're not making applesauce, so this gives it a good texture throughout the dish as well. So that looks pretty good to me. The onions are translucent and it smells awesome. And the apples are a little softened. So what I do now is the flour that we had from earlier. It's okay that the chicken touched it because you're cooking it. So we'll take a little bit of that and sprinkle it in to the skillet, because this will help thicken up the gravy that we're about to make and where the chicken will have a bath in. So just toss it around to distribute and incorporate. And then the good stuff, the apple cider and the chicken broth. So pour that right on in. Ooh. So then this is where you add in the chicken. Just nestle it in with everything else. And you can already see it's like starting to thicken. It's what you want. Doesn't this look so good? And don't you wish you guys could like smell it or taste it? You can if you make it. I'm telling you, this is a dish that you do not want to miss. Okay, so we'll just let this like on low-ish heat, just all bubble and simmer and get all good together. You don't have to cover it. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. Just let this do its thing. Look at that. And then what I like doing for extra flavor is throwing in some thyme sprigs. It also gives it nice color. All right, that's good. Just get that all nestled in. See, you can see that everything's getting all nice and thick. And the chicken is probably on its way to getting cooked completely through because everything is all warm and it's a nice heated skillet already. So give this about another 2-3 minutes and then we can pull it off the heat and plate it and dinner is served. Okay, so I'm turning off the heat because everything is cooked through. Oh. Okay, now let's bring it over and plate. And there you have it, apple cider chicken skillet. I hope you make this recipe. Your house will smell amazing. This comes together, as you can see, in no time at all. For the full recipe, visit tablefor2blog.com. Additionally, if you want to learn more about how Farmer Focus is doing things differently in the poultry industry, head to svorganic.com/partners to learn more.